Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be talking about 10 things that all Red Dead Online players need to be doing that most don't. So anyways, let's jump into this today as we've got a lot to discuss. The first thing I've got listed down is use your emotes. So I don't know about you guys, but I try to use my emotes all the time, especially when I'm trying to indicate that I'm friendly, which 99.9% of the time, I'm going to be friendly to another person I meet in the world. I've got no reason to go out of my way to be a jerk or to grief anyone, so I never ever do that. And I use my emotes to let people know that I'm friendly. Now, it doesn't necessarily work 100% of the time, but usually if you're nice to someone, waving back will mean that they'll be nice to you as well. And you'll never know when you'll need someone friendly in the lobby. Now, I've heard people using other tricks as well, like whistling to indicate that they are friendly or holding their lantern out to indicate that they're friendly too. So there is strategies to that, and there are exceptions as well. Like, for example, if I know that someone looks like they're hunting or they're fishing, I typically won't go up to them. Because the way the game works with pelts and things disappearing off the back of your horses, I will typically not bother someone when they're hunting, because I know when I'm hunting, I get a little bit worrisome when people are around me. I always feel like they're going to kill me and take my pelts and stuff like that. So I understand the suspicion, and that's something you want to keep in mind as well, that some people might be doing activities where they will be more on high alert than they would be normally. But for the most part, using your emotes is a great way to signal to other players, especially if you don't have a microphone or anything like that, that you are friendly and you mean them no harm. Number 2 today, I don't know why anyone would change this, but never lower the white flag at your camp. I ride by so many camps where I end up seeing the white flag down, and I'm like, why? You do realize that the camp is the only place in the game where you essentially have passive mode. Why would you want to be attacked at your camp? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's one of those weird options. I don't even know why Rockstar put that into the game. But always keep that white flag up. If you want to go fight someone, just take a step outside of your camp, but at least have the option up so that if you get super overrun by someone, you can always fall back to your camp and just, regroup or take it easy or whatever the case might be. But just under no circumstances, put the white flag down. It doesn't make any sense. Number 3 today, and this is something that as a GTA Online player, I've had to break a lot of habits here, and that is exploring interiors. So in Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online, most of the buildings, at least their interiors, were inaccessible. However, in Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, that's actually quite the opposite. Most of the buildings are enterable, and a lot of them have really cool stuff. Like, for example, we've got the Braithwaite Manor right here, which has a ton of provisions that you can pick up, and it's also just cool to explore these areas outside of their missions in single player. So go inside all of the buildings. There's a good chance you're going to find a lot of really useful and helpful items, and you can also explore some really cool areas as well. I see a lot of people just not wandering inside places, maybe because they don't think they're open, or because they're a GTA player like me and have always just assumed that Rockstar would keep an area like that locked away. But in Red Dead Online, that's not the case. Tip number 4 today, make sure you have all the single player essentials that aren't given to you. So in Red Dead Online, Rockstar sort of make you pay for a lot of the things that you would utilize in single player. Like, for example, the pocket watch that you can actually use in first person, that's really only useful for immersion, but this will allow you to check the time in first person. Same with binoculars and the mortar and pestle. These are things that are given to you on day 1 in single player, but you actually have to buy them in Red Dead Online. Same with the horse brush as well. Just something simple as grooming your horse. You have to buy that too. So make sure you have all of those things and don't just assume that they're given to you. In fact, a lot of the things I probably just mentioned, you might not have even realized you had to buy or had to acquire. So just something to keep in mind right there. Now, sort of building off of that, number 5 today, utilize the mortar and pestle to craft stuff without having to be at a campfire or a camp. So whether that's making ammo or whether that's making certain tonics or hunting stuff, you don't need to be at a campfire to create a lot of these things, but you do need the mortar and pestle. And that's something a lot of you guys might not have acquired yet, or you might have just assumed that you always have to be at a campfire. Now, building off of that, you don't have to be at your campfire if you want to use that. You just won't have the protection of the white flag being up and getting into passive mode. So just something to keep in mind right there. The next thing you want to do is visit the fence for some sort of secret weapons. So some of you guys might not have thought the fence sells weapons, but they do, which is kind of cool. So as you can see there's a lot of different weapons that you can get, like the hatchet and the cleaver, and also the machete. Now, most of these are locked for me, but as you guys can see there, I was able to get the cleaver for $8. Now, I was wondering if that could replace your hunting knife. And the answer is yes, it can. Now, there's a little bit of a downside to this, as unfortunately, it cannot be customized at the gunsmith. So even though you can use something else other than a hunting knife, it can't be customized to have a cool finish on it or an engravement or anything like that. And this might be specifically for the cleaver. Some of the other ones, like the machete, might be able to be upgraded. I'm not sure. I haven't unlocked them, but at least the cleaver was not. So yes, you can replace your hunting knife. You just can't customize it probably the way a lot of you guys would like to. Moving on, the next thing you guys need to do, and that I don't see a lot of people doing, diversify your horses. So from the interaction menu, you can actually choose what horse you want for a specific task. So whether that's a race or a mission or free roam, you want to have specific horses that do different things. Like for example, right now I basically have a free roam horse, which is this red horse Phoenix, and then I have a race horse, which is the thoroughbred, and that is Onyx. Now, Onyx is quicker than Phoenix, but doesn't have as much stamina. But that's okay in races because you run over those stamina barrels so frequently. So I use Onyx in races. I use Phoenix, who is the red Arabian, in free roam. So if you have more stable slots, you can actually choose different types of horses. You could get a war horse. You could get, a multi-horse. You could get a workhorse for different things. Like, for example, you might want a war horse for during missions and stuff like that because it'll be able to absorb more damage, and you might not necessarily need to go as quickly. So that's the sort of thing you need to do. Diversify your horses so you don't have one doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's also good to get all your different horses up to level 4 bonded, because obviously it can't go any higher than that. So if you focus on some other horses, you'll make sure that all are level 4 bonded. Number 8 today, don't worry about the law. So this is something you're going to have to break from single player, because in single player, lawmen were very powerful, and obviously bounties were a huge pain. They restricted the things you did inside the various cities or regions. Well, thankfully in Red Dead Online, there's no bounties, and thankfully the law is a lot more lenient on you. And that's also something you're going to have to break from GTA Online, where the cops would give you stars for just looking at them the wrong way. So one thing I like to do is when I'm in Valentine, I'll traditionally hunt the farm animals that are there, like the pigs and the sheep. It's easy money. It's easy meat that I can cook. However, sometimes I'll end up getting the animal cruelty sort of wanted thing. That happens on occasion, especially if you do it during the daytime, but it also happens sometimes during the night. And basically all you have to do is just go out of the way for a little bit, and that's it. And I did that, and you could still see that the sheep carcass was there, and I was able to collect it. So the law is something you do not have to worry about in Red Dead Online. Don't fear it. Do things, and even if you do get a wanted level, just walk away, and nothing will happen. So I'm afraid that Rockstar will make them much more powerful in the future. Hopefully that's not the case, but as it stands right now, they're super easy to get away from. And the final 2 tips we're going to be talking about today specifically have to do with gold and money. As far as buying gold from the store, I would wait till there's a promotion going on. So if it's any indication of how Rockstar did things in GTA Online, I would imagine that over time, Rockstar will be handing out a ton of bonuses for Red Dead Online gold. Like, for example, if you buy gold bars, you'll end up getting 1.5, 2 times more amount of gold for the same price. So I don't want to tell anyone how to or how not to spend their own money, but I'm just saying that sometime down the line, there's a good chance that maybe instead of getting 350 gold bars for $100, you'll get 500 gold bars for $100. Just saying, things could get a little bit better, and Rockstar always typically do promotions. And the final thing at the number 10 spot today, just be careful about how you spend your gold and your money. Because as it stands right now, there's not a lot to buy in Red Dead Online. Like you can upgrade your guns, you can get, new outfits, horses. That's about it. Rockstar have promised big updates in 2019, so I can only imagine that there's going to be more things to buy, whether that's wagons or carts or upgrades for our horses, or maybe new properties to buy, new weapons, new clothing. So you just don't want to be shocked if Rockstar adds something and you look at your bank account and you have $2 a can of beans and, 14 gold nuggets. That's not what you want. So just save your money, because when Rockstar do add cool stuff, you want to make sure you have at least a little bit of it to be able to fund that. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. That right there is 10 things that all Red Dead Online players need to be doing, but most don't. So like I said, if you have any other tips or tricks like this, let us know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.